The Indian judiciary has always stood as the final refuge for justice, the temple where truth, law, and fairness converge. But what happens when the very guardians of this temple are themselves surrounded by doubt? A storm is brewing, and at its center stands former Chief Justice of India, CJI, D.Y. Chandrachud, a widely respected figure now facing serious allegations that question not just his actions, but the very sanctity of the system he once led. Hello everyone! Today in this video, I am going to discuss on the issue that being debated across the country, that is about CJI D.Y. Chandrachud's action regarding constitution of two separate benches for the same bail case in one day. So, let's begin with the incident that triggered a national debate. On July 1st, 2023, during the Supreme Court summer vacation, something unusual happened. Two separate benches of the Apex Court were set up on the same day to hear the same bail plea, that of activist Teesta Setalvad. The first bench denied her bail, but shortly after, another bench granted it. This rare move raised eyebrows. Former Patna High Court Judge Justice Rakesh Kumar called it an abuse of roster powers, suggesting the CJI was too eager or hyperactive to ensure a favorable outcome for Setalvad. This wasn't just courtroom gossip. Justice Rakesh Kumar formally lodged a complaint with the President of India on November 8, 2024, under Section 17A of the Prevention of Corruption Act, seeking a CBI probe. His concern wasn't about whether Setalvad deserved bail, and it was also not about the CJI's power to constitute bench during the vacation. It was about how the process unfolded. Was the urgency justified, or was influence at play? For a judge to question another at this level, and especially a former Chief Justice, is no small step. It signaled the beginning of a wider reckoning. Now the question is, once such complaint is filed, what will happen? Once the President received the complaint, it was sent to the Law Ministry. Then, in March 2025, the matter reached the Department of Personnel and Training, DOPT. Now, a formal investigation is underway. A rare and sensitive review will determine whether a former Chief Justice should be held accountable for how he used his powers. If pursued further, this will be a moment of reckoning, one that could change how future CJIs operate and are held to account. Now, to understand the depth of the controversy, we must look at Teesta Setalvad's case. Teesta, who is a known activist, was accused of fabricating evidence in relation to the 2002 Gujarat riots. After her bail was rejected by the High Court, she moved to the Supreme Court. Here's where things got intense. The SC described the High Court's decision as perverse and granted her bail. And it all happened during vacation, on a day typically reserved for urgent matters only. Why was her case treated with such urgency? Critics argue that this was no coincidence, and that the timing, benches, and outcome all point to manipulation of judicial process. Now, just take one step further, and let's discuss what the law allows versus what is right. Let's take a step back. The CJI is known as the master of the roster, which means he has the authority to decide which judge hears which case, even during vacations or holidays. De jure or in law, this was all legal. But legality isn't always the same as fairness. So the real issue isn't about whether the CJI could do it, but why he did it the way he did. Was there really a national level urgency? Because such thing can be done usually for national level urgency, or for something urgent to protect the interest of society at large, or was the urgency manufactured? And when judicial actions start looking suspicious, people begin to lose faith, and that is where the real danger lies. Now let's have a brief introduction about the former CJI Chandrachud.
Justice Chandrachud isn't just any former CJI. He's known for his path-breaking judgments and progressive stands. Interestingly, he was among the longest-serving justices in the history of the Indian judiciary, both in his tenure as a judge and during his term as the Chief Justice of India. Further, from upholding the right to privacy, to legalizing same-sex relations, to saying, bail is the rule, jail the exception, he has shaped modern Indian jurisprudence. He repeatedly cautioned, independence of judiciary does not always mean giving a verdict against the government. He's also spoken about the importance of judicial independence and even warned against media trials affecting justice. He pushed for live streaming court hearings, a big step toward transparency. Yet now his own actions are being questioned. Can a legacy of fairness and reform survive such serious allegations? While the roster controversy stirred one pot, another event poured fuel on the fire.
On September 11, 2024, Prime Minister Narendra Modi visited CJI Chandrachud's official residence for a Ganesh Puja. It might seem like a harmless cultural gesture. Critics called it a breach of the separation of powers. How can the head of government share rituals with the head of judiciary, especially when the judiciary is expected to remain unbiased in government-related cases? Supporters argued it was a personal, tradition-based event. After all, past judges have attended official iftars too. But in an environment already thick with suspicion, this visit didn't go unnoticed. It intensified the conversation on judicial neutrality. Now let's check out what is being discussed nationwide. Activist groups like the Campaign for Judicial Accountability and Reforms called the Setalvad bail episode a dangerous precedent. Opposition parties openly questioned whether Justice Chandrachud can remain impartial in government-related matters. Meanwhile, supporters maintained that legal rights were upheld and that the CJI's intent was misunderstood. But at the heart of it, the debate continues. When does closeness to power become a compromise? And who watches the ones who judge us all? Now the question is why this moment matters, far beyond one man. This case isn't just about Justice Chandrachud. It's about every CJI who will come after him. It's about public trust in the judiciary. It's about the invisible line between discretion and favoritism. Here's what's truly at stake. 1. Checks on power. Every official, even the highest judge, must face accountability. 2. Judiciary's moral authority. Reputation isn't built by verdicts alone. It's shaped by perception. 3. Rule of law for all. Equality before law must mean something, especially at the top. 4. Precedent for the future. Will future judges tread more carefully? Will relationships between judiciary and executive be better regulated? Moreover, this is more than a legal question. It is a moral test for India's judiciary. The outcome won't just decide whether one man acted improperly. It will reveal whether the system is strong enough to question itself, to learn, and to rebuild trust. For if judges are not beyond scrutiny, neither is democracy. But if judges are beyond scrutiny, then democracy is already in danger. Let the truth come out, not just for justice, but for the soul of the system that delivers it. But yes, what do you think? Do not hesitate. Please share through the comment box given below. Bye-bye.